you guys. Thanks for joining.
You're welcome.
So, guys, I just wanted to run this by you. We often get asked, from customers who either are looking at our Change Auditor solution or
Mhm.
their own Change Auditor. Change Auditor captures a lot of events from Active Directory and everything Microsoft related. And for those customers who own SIEM solutions, the question is typically, how do you guys compare to what value do you add? How do you differ than
Yeah.
what I already have?
Yeah, I feel like we really complement SIEM tools. So a SIEM tool is security information event management. It's really to get a lot of different security events, disparate data sets, all combined so you can see what's going on in your different organization. And whereas that's very broad, it's looking at network stuff, firewall stuff, Active Directory, and other disparate systems. We aren't doing all that. We're trying to focus on what we're really good at, which is AD. So for on-premises Active Directory, we have enriched signals where we don't require the native auditing to even be turned on. And we also have the ability to allow list certain access to take away the implicit rights that are in Active Directory and ensure that there's explicit relationships that have to be defined to make changes to particular different objects. So if you're familiar with the Gartner space that was coined back in 2022, ITDR, Change Auditor really fits into the identity detection response, focusing on the Active Directory with a lot of those common different attacks out there where we can get you information about like golden ticket attacks, SID history injection, DC sync, all with the same tool that you're using for compliance as well. So we can retain it a long period of time, and we can also even detect those different common attacks, the tactics, techniques, and procedures across AD that organizations need visibility into.
All right, perfect. So, Jason, let me bounce this off you. From a technicality standpoint, one of the things we do is how granular we are in how we normalize the events that we capture. And I think that's one of the key differentiators. If you're looking at just the event itself, if a SIEM solution captures it from an operating system versus if Change Auditor captures it. So can you talk a little bit more about how we normalize these events and what are the details in how we normalize?
Yeah, so one of the problems with SIEM solutions, in my opinion, is that since they're gathering event logs, you have to know event IDs. So unless they are building in rules or intelligence that's looking for certain events, which isn't always the case with SIEM solutions, you become the event log monitor who's looking for specific telltale signs that either some current compromise is happening. Is it actually giving you the results that many of the customers that we talk to are really looking for? They spend more time having to become filters for the product that's harvesting so much data that they don't really have a good understanding of what it is that they're looking for to begin with. And the best way to fix that is to have a solution like Change Auditor, which is looking at specific events. Like we're telling this product, hey, changes at a low, as a high hanging fruit in the tree. If something's happening or accessing the database, the Change Auditor database, I see you, Brian. I want to know about that. I want to be able to determine, is this a real threat to me? And just having a SIEM solution isn't going to give me that information. I would have to know that in advance, where our solution is already helping our customers not only protect it, but also audit it and look at it. Brian?
Yeah, I was going to clarify just a little bit. We aren't looking at the native events that are occurring. We don't rely upon the native events getting written by the event viewer. We're writing our own different logs using our
Correct.
own enriched information, purpose-built for what organizations should in fact be looking at. That's how we're going to give you that enriched data that's very unique in the different market. And that enriched data with less signals, we can complement and just forward off those different signals off to your different SIEM. You reduce the amount of different noise that you have to send to your different other provider you're using for SIEM.
Yeah, and look, so we don't really compete with SIM solutions. I think we definitely complement SIM solutions. As a matter of fact, we can maybe later talk about how we have out of the box integration with the various SIM solutions that are out there. But one of the ways we do enrich, going back to your point, Brian, is what we refer to as the 4 or 5 Ws, right? We show you who made the event, when the event happened, which workstation, the origin of the event, which server the event, which domain controller the event registered at. And this is what our customers see enriched in their SIM solution. Because once you post this information or integrate with SIM solution, now your events that are coming from Change Auditor are a lot more enriched. You know exactly what's going on.
Quality data versus just quantity
of
data. It's important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are there any specific events or event types where you're just not going to get with SIM solutions out there? Like I'm thinking group policy objects. There's no events in SIM solutions that relate to group policy objects. Am I not correct?
Well, there's logging around group policies, but the enriched data, such as, okay, you made a group policy change, what setting was changed?
Yeah.
That's something that we're providing. You
Right.
can turn on like debug logging in Microsoft and get overwhelmed with too much different data. That's a lot more stuff that you have to be able to parse through. That's a big value in how we're writing it, just what's really important. So you have to worry about, well, did I turn on that different logging to begin with? I don't know. There are still instances where you should be collecting some different native event logs as well. That's why we offer products like Entrust that can collect and retain and store those for a long period of time to be enable you to scale out to collect your PowerShell logs or things like that.
Yeah. And I think part of what we do is the built-in alerting, built-in scheduling of reporting, built-in protection templates that are focused 100% on Active Directory / Azure Active Directory / Microsoft Stack is what we focus on, is how granular we are versus a SIM solution. We feed it all this information, but a SIM solution is, like you said earlier, is looking at a lot more than that. Active Directory is just one connection for it.
Well, speaking in plain English, like the NTDS database access protection, right? We have built-in auditing events where you can very simply see that, where you may have to turn a lot of different native things to be able to capture that visibility, and you may be overwhelmed because it doesn't read in plain English what that really even means. That's something we're simplifying it, and also give the ability to allow list it where only your sanctioned AD backup tool can do it. And then you can be alerted off when somebody's attempting to do something they shouldn't be doing with their implicit rights they had assigned in Active Directory.
So what SIM solutions does Change Auditor integrate with out of the box?
Quite a few. We have one for QRadar, Splunk, Sentinel. There's a generic syslog one out there, which will work with just about everything out there. So just that generic syslog connector, we can work with just about any of them that exist.
You mean by the syslog connection, is it the ability to just export like .evt format into the log file and then whatever SIM solution?
Yeah, there's a configuration. You go to syslog and choose what that provider is. And I think it puts that right format. There's a couple of formats in there that you're able to pick to send and write those different events to it.
Yeah. Great. Anything else you guys want to add?
If you're looking at Change Auditor and those capabilities, just the fact that we also even have our on-demand audit. So what's in the cloud can stay in the cloud, and that can take the data to the next level, not just seeing the events that are occurring, but identifying the anomalous activity that is occurring as well. And if you're dealing like the NIST controls 853, you'll see that word anomalous all over the place. On-demand audit is giving you those capabilities.
I also want to just say the defense in depth concept, a lot of my customers, they think they're trying to accomplish, but they put all their eggs in one basket. Having something different than one baked-in solution can be added a real value to the limited selection that one vendor's product's going to be able to shine a light on. So I would say that that's a huge advantage for us and our customers that are trying to use disparate products to gather good information of what's going on in Active Directory and Azure Active Directory.
Totally agree. Okay, guys, appreciate the insight. Thank you.
Thanks, Guzzle.